I remember when I booked it, same thing with the meeting. They told me, we searched the whole world and then we found you. And I was really confused because I had no clue what's going on. I was like, huh? Pardon me? Wait, huh? And he's like, Gordon, you booked it.
I'm the original Uppa, right? Like no Sky buys in, Uppa. Like there can only be one.
Hi, my name's Gordon Cormier.
Hi, I'm Ian Owsley.
Hi, I'm Dallas Lewin.
Hi, I'm Gowan Dio.
Hi, I'm Paul Sun-Hyung Lee.
Hi, I'm Daniel Day Kim, and you are getting up close with Cosmo UK.
Subscribe for more.
Okay.
Oh man, the waterworks for all of us. Well, first of all, we were auditioning undercover, so we didn't know what it was for. I knew, but just because it was something that I told my team about. And so I was sitting there and he was like, yeah, so I'm not sure if you know, but this is for Avatar, The Last Airbender, for Katara. And I was like, okay, why is he telling me that? That was my first thought. I was like, why is he telling me that? What's happening? What's happening? And then he was like, he went on this long spiel about they're looking for people and it might take a long time and this. And then he was just like, and we found her. She's you. You got it. And just immediately fell into my hands, bawling my eyes out. My parents were crying. We were all just a mess, but it was just something that I'll never forget for sure.
I remember when I booked it, same thing with the meeting, but they told me, we searched the whole world and then we found you. And I was really confused because I had no clue what's going on. I was like, huh? Pardon me? Wait, huh? And he's like, Gordon, you booked it. And I was like, oh my God. And I started bawling. Look, this video might come out soon or one day. I don't know if they ever want to release that, but I was like, but yeah, it was a really big deal for me.
I yelled. I was in the middle of a parking lot. Actually, I was at a car dealership just about to sign the papers for release when my phone rang. It was my agent, and they said, this is very important. I thought I had to stop, and I knew something either really good or really bad. I went into the parking lot, found out the news, and I yelled. I was so ecstatic, and I totally forgot that it was a full parking lot of people. And they all looked at me, and I said, it's okay, this great news, great news. So yeah, that was my reaction.
For me, it was a mixture of things. I felt a lot of happiness, I felt a lot of joy, and I also felt a little bit of responsibility because this series has a really big fan base, and they're very vocal and passionate about it, and so I wanted to make sure that if I was going to be a part of something, that it was going to be respectful, and it was going to be entertaining, and the characters were going to be interesting, all of the things. And so I was just thinking about the execution of it right after that.
Oh, who is the biggest fan? That's hard, because they're all fans and super nerds.
I can tell you that just sitting next to this man, I've heard stories about what a big fan he is of this series, and so I would vote for Paul right here.
Oh, that's really kind of you. That's very kind. I'm a huge fan of the series myself. I did not watch it in 2005, but I have to say that pretty much everybody who worked on the show, behind the camera too, And this is the lovely part about working on a show like this, is when you have actual fans working on the show, the attention to detail, the stakes for everybody is up there, because if it's something that you love, you want it to look the best. You want it to be the best. It's not just another job. And throughout the entire process, I got that sense from everybody in every department that it mattered. All of this mattered, and it had to be right.
I'm gonna guarantee this switching up.
Yeah.
She's got the ratio on time for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I just grew up watching it, and I was honestly obsessed with the show. So it's crazy to be in this position now. It's really full circle.
Yeah.
For me, the Agni Kai with Zuko. I feel like the heart of Ozai's journey is the relationship he has with his family, his brother, his son, his daughter, and maybe even later his estranged wife. And so there's a lot to mine there in family dynamics, and being a dad myself and being a son myself, and a husband, there was a lot that I could draw from and compare to my own experiences.
For me, it really was just being with Prince Zuko, being his mentor, being his guide, taking him under his wing as a surrogate son, in a sense. Iroh has suffered a tremendous loss in his life, and it's shifted his focus. And so for me, what was tantamount, what was paramount, was making sure that relationship was there. It was truthful, it was authentic, and believable. And so working with Dallas Liu was an absolute treat. You're only as good as your scene partner, and he lifted me up. He brought such fantastic work and such a dedication to the craft and care for the character that was so much fun. And he was like my travel buddy. So, to go through the highs and lows in terms of the characters and the adventures that they get into and the predicaments they find themselves in was a treat to sort of recreate.
I would probably go with the dynamic that Zuko and Uncle Iroh have on their journey to find the Avatar. And not necessarily the most emotional or dramatic moments where, classic Uncle Iroh is giving him advice or speeches or just trying to help support him, but rather when the two have those really nice comedic moments that we got to see in the animated series. So I had a lot of fun because Paul obviously has a very strong comedic background, and when I first started out acting, I did a lot more comedy projects before moving into a role like this. So for me and Paul, this was something super fun where we could just improvise and put in our own lines, or even physically just have our own ad-libs.
I think 6 weeks of boot camp before we started filming. And that was just like in training every day, from learning our fighting styles to just like getting our bodies stronger to handle these crazy horse stances that we'll be keeping up for like hours on end. And I know for me, they really wanted to get as much in as possible, like in boot camp before we started filming, even though Katara doesn't start out a master. But by the end of the series, they wanted me to already have gone through the movements and be recognize them and just like have them already like fluid with my body, so that it would be easier by the time we got there.
I mean, I don't bend anything, so I was kind of just along for the ride in a sense. But it was really fun, like getting to unlearn. I have like a martial arts background, so like this stuff with like Suki and stuff like that, like getting to do like traditional forms or like katas with her, and like it's funny because she was like learning them on how to be a master, and I was like unlearning them on how to like look like I had just started. So like not having like deep stances and like pointing my feet the wrong way and like opening my fingers up when like they're supposed to be like straight and like my thumbs tucked and stuff like that. That was really fun, honestly, for me to just kind of like learn how to let loose. I feel like maybe before the show I was a little bit tight in general, and as I like grew up on the show, like obviously I was 19 when I started, but I like learned how to be an adult. It was like a whole process of like learning how to loosen, not only like physically in my role, but like also just like as a person.
That's a good question.
I wouldn't switch characters. I like my character. I'm really having a lot of fun playing him. He's someone that, I'm not very much like in real life. I like to think. And so, when you have license to play someone who's very different from you, it can be very liberating. So I'm having fun.
I'm gonna say Appa, because I'm the original Appa, right? Like no Sky Bison, Appa. Like there can only be one. But seriously, it's fun watching other performers inhabit their characters, and you see them absolutely nail those parts. Like I loved watching Ian Owsley just nail the sardonic wit of Sokka, right? I love seeing Dallas, like the complexity of his character arc and how he's torn. I loved watching Ken Leung just tear it up as Admiral Zhao. Oh, the man practically slithers on and off the screen, and it's just such, like, he could give, like, that's a workshop in masterful acting. And to be surrounded with that kind of talent and to watch that, and of course Gordon Cormier, he's only 12, bald-headed little kid jumping around, inhabiting who that character is. He is the Avatar. It's inspiring. And it's daunting because you look at it and go, that's not something I could have done at his age.
Yeah.
And so it is so much fun to watch everybody just do it. That's the joy.
Ian.
Oh. Do you guys remember Paul's after takes?
Oh yeah, Paul has the
Paul
best,
has the best
bloopers and
ever.
stuff ever.
I was gonna say, like, after, because all of my scenes are with him and I'm away from these guys, I only know them, like, for how funny they were personally, but on set, it was no doubt, in my mind, Paul.
Yeah.
Who's the funniest person?
Me!
Yeah.
I'm the funniest! Come on, Daniel!
I'm just teeing you up,
Can't
bro.
believe that. Trying so hard. I like to bring levity to a set because everybody's working hard and it's good to keep. I mean, we're there to work as well, but there are times that you can get kind of locked into the heaviness of the moment can sometimes be there, and it's, you know, especially with the younger cast members as well. Like it's that fine line of walking. Like, you need to enjoy this because this is work, and you can tell when somebody's not enjoying their work, and for them, especially for the young ones, they need to be able to enjoy it. But at the same time, you can't go too far into that world because they're there to work, right? And so I love joking around with Gordon. He was so much fun. Dallas as well. Like, I was the uncle who was just sort of poking and having fun and taking pictures of him asleep in the makeup chair and stuff. And I never got a chance to hang out with Ian and Gao and Dio. I got a chance to talk with Lizzie. And of course, Ken, who's just like, I was like, oh my God. And this guy, like, how could you not?
Well, what's really nice is that, you know, because Paul is the way he is, and, you know, everyone in the cast is so nice, that it actually really was a pleasant working experience. And you'll hear a cast say this all the time. It was like a family. We were so happy. But, you know, and a lot of times it's just not true. But in our case, it actually is.
Ooh, honestly, the OG fans, I know there was a lot of concern that, like, are they gonna be able to pull it off? Are they gonna stay true to the storylines, to the characters? Because there's such a love for the original animated series. And, you know, I think they're gonna be so excited because this is not a one-for-one recreation of something that they love. But we are faithful to that source material. We give it the respect, the love it deserves, but it's a remix. There's new elements added. The characters are introduced a little bit earlier. There are certain things that do not translate from the animated series to live action, so we've dealt with that. And it's new enough that they'll find absolute joy in getting new material. It's familiar enough that they can go, okay, they've done it right. But for the new fans, it is an epic storyline that's going to just grab their attention, draw them in, and when you have that convergence of old fans and new fans together, ooh, that's so much fun because real fans love talking and sharing the thing they love the most. And there's going to be a whole nother generation of Avatar fans out there.
See why he's the biggest fan? Right? That's why I answered Paul.
Thank you so much for watching.
Cheers, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.